Hello and welcome. I'm your host Elizibar. This is Queen of Swords number 2, and I am so happy to say that this new barbaric miniseries has truth in advertising. She busts out the little like chain spear things, and this creature is in the book. Both of these things that are on the cover are represented in the book. Sometimes you get a comic book, and the stuff that's on the cover just is not depicted in the interior of the book at all. This is not a case of that. I think the last issue was, or maybe it was the last issue of the previous miniseries, but there was like stuff on the cover that just was not present. So much of this book is just her backstory, right there. Like that's where we're leading up to. Is whatever's going to go down next is seriously going to involve her. There's lots and lots of talking about her backstory, her feelings, all that kind of stuff. And I really liked Deadheart's little speech here of how, well, some people are weak, but the only way to stop being weak is to conquer yourself, which is the hardest thing of all. And it's like, oh, that's all very inspiring and that kind of jazz. And, cool. Who knew that a book about barbarians would be where you would find some kind of like uplifting, positive message about overcoming yourself to become stronger? Not me. I'm kind of with Witch Girl here, where I didn't see that one coming. What I did see coming though, freaky Tyrannosaur or not Tyrannosaurus, freaky Pteranodon giant monster battles. Like they have a great 4 or 5 page battle sequence with these things. I told you those chains were in the book. Look at that, and it is absolutely a jam. The carnage is livingly rendered. It's rocking the same color palette as the rest of the book, which means you get these very strong contrasting oranges and greens and yellows, just things there in the background to make the rest of the like panel pop off. It usually works. Sometimes you get a panel where the color composition doesn't quite make it pop, and I guess that's okay. But then you get stuff like this, where it's just like whoa, where you get stuff like this, where it's like whoa, or stuff like this, where it's whoa. There's definitely way more hits than misses with the way the color compositions work out in this book. It's a really good book. It's right up there, man. Like a lot of these barbaric issues, and I'm just going to count this as the next barbaric miniseries. Why? Well, because it's the next part of the story. Plus, it says bursting from the pages of barbaric right on the cover. So it's the same book, man. This should be barbaric like issue 14 or something like that. I don't know why it's not. But it's all going pretty good. Yep. There's what's her name, the witch from the other books right there. So there's a lot of backstory stuff about how she gets her witchiness and how that separates her from oh, what is Witch Girl's name there? Senna? Is that Senna? It's Senna and Soren, right? I think that's right. How their relationship kind of got severed, and our heroes, as they're hanging out in the woods, they're going through like the pestilential lands where there's monsters everywhere. They get confronted by some specters, and remember, I told you that one monster was in here. So as they're dealing with their problems, their specters, like that monster is not having a good time. Unfortunately for the rest of our heroes, Deadheart and the lady from Harvest Blades, this was all kind of cover for something else entirely to happen, which is going to separate what's her name, the witch, gosh, her, the witch girl, from the rest of the party. At least for like another issue. I'm sure they'll get back together and we'll start resolving whatever the stuff is. But yeah, the violence was lovingly rendered. The book is actually a little less outrageous than barbaric is. Like I don't remember seeing any naked ghibli bits flopping around. For example, there's a little less swearing. The sword that she has, which that's a complicated thing because that sword ended up trapping somebody's soul that tried to leave hell with them at the same time, and so now it's a talking sword with that guy's soul in it. Don't ask. But that whole thing is not as much fun as the axe is from the main series, but it's still pretty fun. They still have fun with it, and there's some somewhat inappropriate joking between the sword and Deadheart, which is kind of fun. I've used that word fun a bunch, haven't I? And that's kind of what it comes down to is I was reading this book, and I had fun reading this book. And I think maybe if you can get in on this, and you can probably get the other issues. The previous miniseries is trades now, and you can maybe still get that issue number one. Hop in on this and get on the train and start riding this train with me. You might just have some fun too. That's a cool looking monster, ain't it? Anyway, you all take care of yourselves. You have a great day, great night, great whatever you got going on. I hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye bye.